Hey everybody, I am on for the midweek message reveal. Choose your message, and it is Wednesday, July 16th. Thank you for being here with me, and let's get into the energy this week. Alright, so welcome again to retrograde season. We've got lots going on. We have Pluto in Aquarius retrograde. That's bringing through that purge energy. Releasing old patterns, the stuff that no longer fits. We're saying peace. We don't want nothing to do with it. Yeeting that shit out the system. When we have Neptune also in Aries in retrograde, we are confronting illusions. We are seeking clarity, and we are starting to uncover and say, wait a second, this doesn't seem like what you said it was. And I want to know why and what can be done about that if what you're saying isn't lining up with what I'm logicking here. Insert global issue here. Okay? That happened on the 14th, 2 days ago. Now, Saturn in Aries, also in Aries, retrograde. Saturn coming through, going to press and push and hold to a standard. Is asking us to really settle up and pay attention to what boundaries we've created or haven't, and why we have or haven't, and do those boundaries still stand? Is what we are saying yes or no to, or what we have decided how we're going to operate, is it still in alignment with what we want? Is it helping us or is it hurting us? And this is a cosmic point of reassessment, where you get to look back and say, Now remember, retrogrades appear to be going backwards. So a lot of this is appearing to put you in a past state, appearing to take you back to old stuff. Like something's happening all over again. And remember, cosmically and universally, we're always looking for another opportunity to show the universe that we've changed and want to change. So it's going to give you an opportunity to do so. It's giving a lot of people everywhere an opportunity to do so. Especially for those who have made a choice somewhere in the past and are now being confronted with whether or not that is holding true, is what they believed it to be, and if those people who put that out there are saying that that is true or not, and they're holding their feet to the fire here and saying, wait a second, show me the evidence. Show me the money, show me the this, show me the that. I need proof here. And there's a lot to say about these things, and there's a lot of feelings behind it. So, what is being asked here when we have Saturn going retrograde in Aries is that the goals that we are trying to set, we need to reassess if the boundaries are matching there, or the process, or what it is that we want to do next. We're in a planning stage almost. Now, that is in a personal and professional sense. It's not just in a global sense. This is going to appear in several different areas, and there's going to be a sense of pressure behind it. If you can understand that the pressure is only meant to create urgency, because remember when we talked about Aries last week, I talked about this energy, we talked about the ram, it comes up as quickly as it dissipates. But it's intense, and it's in your face, and it won't go away. Like a lot of things that we're seeing play on the world stage. Interesting. All right. Lastly, Mercury is going retrograde full on here. We've been in the shadow period for the last 2 weeks, but it's going retrograde in Leo on Friday, the 18th. Mercury retrogrades are going to screw with communication and technology. It's going to scramble the lines. It's going to make things difficult for us to understand one another because it's asking you to redefine yourself. Similar to all the other planets here in retrograde. Can you reframe and put in the effort to make things more beneficial for you, therefore making it more beneficial for others, because flow loves flow? Now, with Leo energy that's very showy, in its shadow, it's going to be very loud, arrogant, in your face, doesn't care what you think, it wants to dominate. That energy is coming out a bunch, and that energy is asking for that sort of shaking up a can of pop and just letting it fly energy. How do you react to that is what Mercury is asking. It's asking for us to refuse to give into drama, to refuse to give into the patterns that we see when someone is spiked up and then has to have a emotional or huge reaction in order to come to a resolution. You don't need to do that anymore. We don't need to make things so difficult, traumatic, personal. We don't need to act so defensively. And the energy of Leo is looking for us to take a more refined state as Leo, the king of the lions, right? It's asking us to step into that state of diplomacy, loyalty. Ask where that loyalty is. Are those people on our side? Are we needing to reshuffle the deck of people that we're around? All of this energy is asking you to take a stand in a personal way that will also reverberate out. And it definitely is affecting relationships. It's definitely affecting situationships. It's affecting all areas. And that's the message. We all are experiencing this. This is not one group. We all are experiencing all of these changes, and we must, in order for there to be systemic shifts. You'll probably find that every single person in your life, if you were to give them some time to talk a little bit about their personal stuff and they weren't holding it back and they were allowing vulnerability to be a thing, they would all be sharing some really heavy shit that everyone is going through, individually, personally, professionally. And this is necessary. It's necessary for everyone to get on the same page. That doesn't mean it's easy to accept, doesn't mean it's easy to work with, doesn't mean that it's fun. But the more aware of it you can be and see that there is a process that's being put in place here, and we are being offered an opportunity to really work through some stuff that we wouldn't be able to in any other way here, and to put things to rest finally, once and for all, to pick up that big old rock hanging out in the yard and see all the funky critters underneath. That's the metaphor. And we're sticking with it. Okay. I'm going to jump into the messages. I got my little guys here. All right. And thank you for those of you who liked and shared and all that good stuff. I really appreciate that. And we're just going with choices. I feel like a two choice lately. There's too much going on. Like, me right now, y'all, I am exhausted and I have a killer headache. And I know that everyone is experiencing a bunch of stuff. So I wanted to make things as simple as possible. I'm going to jump in here. Here we go. If you chose one, you chose the little blue dude. Oh wait, did you choose the blue dude? Was the blue guy one? I think he was. See? All right. If you chose blue, let's just go with this. I'm not going to go back and try and make myself crazy. I just want you to see that this is happening to everybody. And does it matter if this was one or two? You picked blue. We're going with blue. All right? Blue. Connecting with your energy, blue. You've reached a fork in the road. I see a roundabout, actually. One of those really annoying ones where I can feel a sense of anticipation as you approach it. And there's all of those offshoots. And then you have other traffic trying to come in at the same time. You're aware of it. It's almost, I can see the periphery, the vehicles coming from all sides. And you need to get in and you need to merge and you need to make a choice. But what you're doing here, blue, is you're spiraling and spinning around and just going around and around the circle in the roundabout without necessarily making a choice of which offshoot you'd like to choose. This seems like a personal flaw to a lot of you. It's not. It's not a personal flaw. It is a symptom of the situation with the energy of late and how it is showing up in your world in order to get you to make a decision. Very much in line with Saturn and Aries retrograde, which is asking for that boundary, asking for the goals to be set, asking for the reassessment and the reframing, because everything else has come to a point where you know that if you make a choice down this first offshoot road, you have to choose one part of yourself and abandon the other. The next road, you get to choose what is best for the group. For some of you, it's for those that you work with. It's not even people that you are necessarily caring for or providing for, but a general responsibility of an entire group of work-related people. Choosing that path is good for the group, not necessarily great for you unless you can find that balance, and you're not in a state of balance yet. Another offshoot is choosing only you, where your wants and needs above all else are eclipsing those who you are in relationship with in a professional sense, in a personal sense. And the reason why you keep going around and looking at each opportunity, each choice, and not being able to decide isn't because you can't, or that you can't figure out which one is right. You are tuning in with your intuition and clarity that the road that you need to get on isn't available yet. You're in the process of reviewing the things that have come through in the past and are experiencing very much a deja vu sort of situation in several areas of your life. Some of you have people who have come into your world who are kind of shape-shifted into a different person than they first presented themselves to be. And through that shape-shifting of their personalities and the circumstances that seemingly have caused their shift, a mask has been dropped. And you're starting to see what's really underneath. The writing's on the wall, the writing's on the wall. I hear that over and over again. And while the writing is on the wall, many of you are refusing to look at said wall. Refusing to acknowledge that it's even there. And this, in a way, is a protective stance. Experiencing avoidance and the desire to put it on a table and walk away for a while until you feel more able to come back to it. That's okay as long as you come back. But you're spending a lot of time literally spinning your wheels. What is being asked of you here, for those of you who picked the baby blue, is that you take a moment to cut the engine, get out the vehicle, the mind, step in to this beautiful space in the center of this turnaround, roundabout, whatever it is that you call it. It's beautifully manicured. There's wildflowers and a water feature and happy little bugs and bees and butterflies all chilling there. Soft grass for you to go walk and take a moment and sit with yourself while everyone else spins around and around and around. You have to stop in order to get into a state of presence and grounding before you can truly allow that special path offshoot to appear. This is going to require rest. This is going to require taking your foot literally off the gas, putting on the brake, and knowing that when the time is right, it'll start up again. You'll be able to drive. You'll be able to drive clearly without any hesitation. The path will be clear. You won't have to worry about merging with all of this insanity around you and people who are not necessarily on the same wavelength. It's okay to take things at the pace that you need to. Because once things start moving, they'll move quickly. But you have to slow down in order to understand that spinning yourselves around in these circles isn't going to help anything. All it does is make you feel a sense of urgency, forcing you to make a choice in order to stop things from being so intense. I hope that lands. Remember, you can't make the wrong choice. But you can make a more aligned one. So why not give yourself that opportunity? It's not something you normally do. Maybe that's why this stuff keeps coming up, and now you get to address it in a different way. What if you did it different? What happens then? All right, find out. All right, moving on to Baby Yellow. The Lello. He's so cute. All right, for those of you that chose the little yellow guy, connecting with your energy, you are stepping into a level of confidence that seems wildly irresponsible, is what I'm hearing. What do you mean by that? It doesn't feel right because it's not something that you were ever really allowed to have, right? If you spoke up for yourself, or if you called yourself awesome, or if you wanted to be congratulated for a good job, or if you expressed how you really felt about something when you weren't given attention, you were seen as being full of yourself, told that you're conceited. That was a word that was used a lot in high school that I remember. Conceited. And it's so funny because a lot of the people who were the most popular, who were the most accomplished, and a lot of those people who are the most accomplished in the world and in life know who they are, have a sense of self-confidence, and don't really give a shit what anybody else thinks. Isn't it interesting that we were told to be kept small? Well, that's not something that sits well with you anymore. You're laughing at it. You're even little dudes just praying like, ha, this is hilarious. Can you believe that this is what I'm supposed to think? No. You're feeling a sense of importance. And that sense of importance is disorienting because it makes you feel like perhaps you can't trust it. Or that it's something that will slip through your hands, like water. Water being motion, while you're looking for something physical, material that you can hold on to. Similar to one, this is going to require some grounding in order for you to feel more in line with what it is that you are bringing through, with the experiences and the people that you are bringing into your reality, and how they work with you, and how they support you, and how they challenge you. Because remember, all challenges, as long as we're looking at them in a sense of what is it going to do for me for my highest good, there's always a positive to the negative, even though sometimes it's really hard to see, really hard to feel. You're being called upon to show up and stand up a bit taller and a bit louder. This is also teetering a little bit with some of the caution that's coming from Mercury retrograde in Leo. You gotta watch being too aggressive, too arrogant, speaking up in a way that kind of puts others down or makes it seem like you have it all figured out, because you don't. And that's your superpower, is that you're able to express the in-between. And that's what we need, are bridges. We need you and your ability to build a bridge between those that know and those that don't. And for you to admit that you yourself are also in that in-between of not knowing. You're working on clarity. You're working on reframing. You're working on better articulating what it is that you mean and what you're here for and what you're not. Will that be complicated by Mercury retro? Oh, heck yeah. Is it kind of a challenge? It will be. But the challenge is more about staying present and understanding that while it does feel like you're going backwards, it's an illusion. Neptune. It's an illusion. Seek what feels right and what feels real. It won't feel wishy-washy. It won't feel unsafe. It won't feel in the pit of your stomach like there is a heavy, hard rock that just won't move. Notice when you're around others in situations where you feel a sense of relief, where you're able to rest comfortably through the night, where you're not plagued with concern and chatter of the people around you and their bullshit that has somehow gotten into your field. There's a lot of energetic plaque that's around you guys that are here in this yellow, but that doesn't mean it's not something that can be cleansed. It's just a matter of having intention. Set your intention that everyone in their junk that they've put on you is sloughed off energetically. If you need help with that in a deeper way, this is something I love to do and I do for clients. So feel free to reach out and I'd be happy to tell you about my services there. You can lift anything you'd like as long as you believe it to be so. So your limiting beliefs are going to be challenged here. And remember, a belief is only a thought that you think often. It's one that's had enough time to root. And it doesn't take long to shift. It just takes consistency and intention. What do you want to have happen? Speak it out. Make it happen. Don't feel like you can't do it. Don't put limitations on yourself. Don't lean into the false belief that everything, even though it's coming up similarly like it has before, is going to resolve itself or become to a resolution that was shitty in the past that you experienced and it's going to be shitty again. If you stick on that wavelength, you're asking for that to come to you. That doesn't mean that difficult things are coming to you because you're asking for it. It's more an opportunity for you to be present and to say what it is that you want and that what you will stand for and what you won't. Use your voice. Use your voice. We want to hear it. I want to hear it. Tell me. Tell us. Share. The connections that we make now are so necessary for the growth of us all. Don't think that just you, little you, as you think to yourself, can't make huge waves, because you can. I know it. 1000%. And it's a beautiful thing. All right. That's the energy this week. Got my little dudes. Mwah. That was weird. I just went with it. Whatever. Would love to hear how they land for you, so please leave me some feedback. Would love to work with you, so please reach out at my website if you're interested in checking me out. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. I am pretty much easy to find here. So thank you again for being here with me. Know that you have what it takes to see it through if that's what you want. You decide how things go. Don't give anyone else that power. You're too cool. All right. Love y'all. Peace.